Education Council, I have the pleasure of welcoming Dr. Balasundaram, Assistant Professor, School of Computer Science and Engineering, Vellore Institute of Technology, Chennai. We are very grateful to have you for the session, sir. So, without further delay, I would like to call Dr. Balasundaram, sir, for entering the session. Thank you.
Yep, thank you. Thank you, Shirley. Yeah, good evening to one and all present here. At the outset, I would express my sincere thank to Panimalar Engineering College, HOD of Computer Science Department, Panimalar Engineering College, Dr. Satish, and Dean, School of Computer Science and Engineering, VIT Chennai, and the management of both the colleges for permitting me to provide a guest lecture on the topic imparting intelligence using computer vision. So before I get in, like a brief introduction about myself, I'm Balasundaram. I've completed my PhD in computer vision in the year 2019. Prior to doing my PhD, I have close to 10 years of industrial experience working for multinational companies like Cognizant and Tata Consultancy Services. And post completion of PhD, I've joined VIT Chennai, wherein I'm working for the School of Computer Science and Engineering, and also working in one of the research centers named Center for Cyber Physical Systems. That's a brief intro about me. And my area of research is computer vision. And that is where I would be touching upon today. And probably over the next half an hour, like I'll be just introducing you to the basic fundamentals and the application areas of where we can use computer vision. Right. So I'll just share my screen now. I would request one of you to confirm if you're able to see the screen. So are you able to see the screen? The PDF, is it available?
Yes, sir. It's visible, sir.
All right. So I'll just go ahead with my presentation. Let me know if there is any network glitch or any voice breakage. Okay. Right. So the topic is going to be imparting intelligence using computer vision. So let's break this topic word by word. So what do we mean by vision? Vision is something we see, right? Then what is computer vision? What computer sees is what is computer vision. And generally when we see something, what do? We start thinking about it and we start perceiving about what we see, right? So the same way, how does computer think? And by looking at, by presenting what the computer sees is what we are going to talk in terms of imparting intelligence using computer vision. So as part of this discussion, I would be introducing you to what is computer vision and computer vision and its interdisciplinaries. And how does a typical computer vision system look like? And what are the typical popular computer vision tools available in the market? And how does mathematics and computer vision go hand on hand? And various application areas and computer vision based applications and its challenges. This is what we are going to see over the next 30 minutes. So as I said earlier, computer vision is not a single thing, like it is an interdisciplinary field. And so the computer vision looks at an image, it analyzes the image, analyzes a scene or analyzes a video what the computer is fed with. And based on that, it tries to understand what is depicted in that picture or the video. So that is about computer vision. So it is nothing but duplicating the ability of human vision to the computer by electronically perceiving and understanding, making the computer to understand the image. So that is computer vision all about. To put things in an easier manner, we'll try to compare and correlate human vision to computer vision. So what do we mean by human vision? So let's say, for example, I see a scenery today, or let's say, for example, I see a garden where a kid is playing. To me, that is the scenery. And that is the vision that I see. And what enables me to visualize that? It is through the eye that I visualize it, right? So that is image acquisition. The eye acts as a camera. In my case, as a human, the eye acts as a camera which captures the scenery. And then this image that is captured by the eye is fed to So this part, I would say it as image acquisition. And the image that is acquired by my eye, captured by my eye, is processed by something what I call it as a brain, right? So the image, whatever I visualize, is analyzed by the brain. It interprets, and let's say, for example, the kid is playing. Suddenly, the kid has a fall. So what does the brain? Immediately, the stimulus says, "Okay, go rush, help the kid." So that vision is translated into some form of an action by the brain visualizing the context and interpreting it and making it understandable, and the respective course of action is done. The perception is made and the course of action is taken. This is how a human vision happens. So the same thing is what is going to happen in computer vision as well. Only thing that would change is what will replace this eye and what is going to replace this brain. That is all differs, right? So computer vision is a study of analysis of pictures and videos in order to achieve the results like what human visualizes. Like what I explained in the previous slide, it is about two stages: image acquisition and image interpretation. And if we take human vision, we had the eye which captures the scenery. The replacement for your human eye in the case of computer vision is your camera, and the replacement for your brain in computer vision is nothing but the computer CPU or whatever it is, right? You use a GPU or CPU, whatever it is. So the scenery is captured by your camera. It is with the image, whatever is captured by the camera, whatever is acquired by the camera is fed to the computer, and that is interpreted, and the perception is envisaged or visualized by your computer. So imparting this intelligence, making the computer understand what that image conveys or what that video interprets, is what is computer vision all about. In other words, let me put it very simple. You are given with an image. You see something that is a picture of something. You see a rail or something that is fallen apart over here. You can correlate something to this, and you can give, if somebody is asking what do you see in this, you will say a building, you will say a ladder, all those things. You will see some roads, all those things you can say. But what does the computer see? So this is what we see. The computer sees it just as numbers, pixels, right? Each and when we talk about an image, the image is represented in computer terms as individual pixels. Each point is represented as a pixel coordinate, and that is how computer visualizes the image or understands the image. And like as I said, okay, what is the goal of your computer vision? So as I say, every picture tells a story. It's very simple. So what do you interpret by looking at that image? When that intelligence is acquired by the computer to visualize an image and understand and interpret what that image or the video conveys, you say that, okay, your computer is visualizing, or you have imparted computer vision into your computer, right? So what is the significance of computer vision in current life? So predominantly, so many applications have come across the current world where we are using computer vision for promoting safety, road safety. There are so many works which are involved with vision-based vehicle tracking, vision-based accident prevention mechanism, vision-based safe parking operations, all those things. And probably healthcare, another area where computer vision is booming like anything, where you visualize the X-ray or the ECG or the EEG images or even the scanned images. Based on that, you go about with making some health predictions. Then in terms of video surveillance and security, like CCTV footages and automatic detection and alerting of threats or thefts, who had done this, who had taken the measures of uh, stealing all those stuff, and alerting the concerned parties to make an immediate action. So security is another area where computer vision is predominantly used. Then gaming. So multiple people joining together in a collaborated environment to have fun. computer vision is used, both this comfort and fun, and again access. So you use computer. So I log in. Say for example, I have a vision-based login system where I don't need a password. All I need is I show my face to the system. The system will automatically recognize me by my face and automatically unlock the system for me. So many things are there, and these are some of the significant areas where computer vision is used in the recent years. And over this graphic, if you see, you'll see a significant rise in the usage of computer vision based applications. There are so many areas, domains: automotive, sports, consumer, robotics and machine vision, medical domain, security and surveillance, so many areas. And overall, this is the amount of dollars in dollars, millions, that is $1 million that is invested towards promoting and developing computer vision based applications. So it is on an increase. Probably 2021, the graphic might even, this bar graph might even be a little bit steeper, making 2020 the second best graph, the bar, right? So that is how it is, on an uphill. And if we say computer vision again, computer vision is again an interdisciplinary field, like where it involves not just image analytics. Yeah, imaging is one part. It also, for making decisions, probably machine learning is needed. For statistical data, probably you need statistics. Again, mathematics, statistics, geometry, because whenever you see an image, probably you might need the texture or the color, the pattern in which it is. So in that case, geometry comes into picture. Robotics and automation, based on whatever you see, if you want some action to be performed, then robotics. Overall, artificial intelligence, I would say computer vision itself is a subset of artificial intelligence. Then you have something called a signal processing. So if it is going to be image analysis, that is fine. If, say, for example, you are going to analyze something based on the signals, then probably signal processing also has a role to play. And this is a typical block diagram of a computer vision based system. So where we already saw what is an image acquisition. So you acquire an image from an input source, or input video or a camera image which is captured, whatever it is. So image acquisition talks about gathering the input, and then you have something called as pre-processing. So what do we mean by pre-processing? I don't think I have put the details, so probably I'll just explain. So let's say, for example, you have captured the image of, let's say, for example, I am bothered about a particular case, like where you are having a precious jewel monitored inside a closed room, right? The CCTV camera is focusing towards that particular object. So in that case, my area or object of interest is nothing but the jewel or the pearl, whatever it is, right? So whatever is surrounding that is not important to me. So when I talk about pre-processing, it is about concentrating on the focused object, and probably you will work towards removing the noisy data around it. Noisy data meaning unwanted data which is not needed for my analysis. So pre-processing talks about removing the unwanted things, smoothing the data for better and efficient way of processing the image. So that is about pre-processing. Then we have some intermediary level of processing the image, where we do the segmentation. Segmentation talks about ignoring the other parts of the image and just, let's say, for example, number plate detection in vehicles. You are bothered only about the number plate. Even though the camera captures the image or frontal image of a particular car, if I am going to say I want to read only the number plate details, to me, the image containing the frontal part of the car, the focus area is only the number plate. So I use image segmentation. Then the representation and description according to what data is getting segmented, that will be populated into the knowledge base. The knowledge base is nothing but something, a repository sort of a thing, where you store whatever information that you have processed, and you retain it predominantly for its future use, because you make the computer learn by that. For that, probably you would be using some machine learning algorithms, recognition and interpretation. So definitely it will come across, you will be coming across some algorithms that need that make the computer to train and understand similar sort of images. So let's say, for example, there is one image that the computer has analyzed and it's got trained to understand similar sort of images. You feed in with more images of such sort and make the computer trained to automatically detect when some similar sort of an image is given for the next time around. So then you have something called as feature extraction. So what is meant by feature extraction? So extracting the essential features of a particular object. Say, for example, I develop a computer vision based system to detect probably the presence of, to detect whether, let's say, for example, I'll take a very simple example. A banana is ripened or not, right? So, what could be the features? If you say a banana is ripe, right? It predominantly should be yellow in color. At the same time, it should not be too ripe. If it is too ripe, it will be having black spots, or even the entire banana might become black. So here color plays a role. The skin texture plays a role, right? Then probably the height and width, whatever it is. These are nothing but the features pertaining to the object. So feature extraction is again an important aspect that goes about depicting, capturing intricate details of a particular object that is under study, right? I talked about what is detection and segmentation. And finally, when it comes to recognition and interpretation, probably you would require the services of machine learning algorithms to go hand on hand with computer vision based applications. So how do you recognize? So this is what it is. So I'm taking this case of a leopard or a cheetah. So how do you recognize by this? So number one, the color of the animal is pretty much known. What is the texture? What is the texture over here? The skin texture, the pattern. So it will have dotted black dots in its skin. The shape of the leopard or a cheetah, it's like a big cat, right? And how do you associate that? So probably you will specify, okay, it will have these features, and there should also be some demarcation features from separating a leopard to that of a lioness, maybe I would say. Both look similar, and if you're capturing the image at the night, probably both will look similar. So that you will be having certain aspects which will distinguish these animals from one another. So capturing the recognizing cues are nothing but the individual features that will help in demarking one animal from the other, or from one object from the other for that matter, right? So the popular computer vision tools that are available at this point in time, we use OpenCV. This supports the OpenCV is predominantly an open source software. This comes in three flavors: Python, Java, as well as C++. Then you have something called as MATLAB, and these are some of the TensorFlow is probably one of the packages along with goes along with Python. And then you have aforge.net or accord.net. Then you have something CUDA is nothing but like your GPU support that is definitely needed. Similar to OpenCV, you have another tool what is called as SimpleCV. And then when we say cloud-based OpenCV API, you have Microsoft Azure CV API, and then you have something called as Amazon Rekognition, right? So these are the various computer vision tools, and predominantly OpenCV is the most preferred tool used across research domains by many of the researchers because it is an open source so package that is available for you, and you can customize it pretty much according to the need of your application. The next preferred one would be probably MATLAB, but this is a licensed one. Okay, MATLAB has its own OpenCV computer vision toolbox that helps in us in doing various computer vision based tasks, but predominantly people opt for OpenCV just for that it is open source and it is customizable and is available three different flavors, namely Python, Java, and C++. Then, as I said earlier, mathematics is again going to be a core part in computer vision. So you'll be using calculus, you'll be using linear algebra, probabilities and statistics, signal processing, geometry. Geometry has a highly significant impact with respect to computer vision. It goes hand on hand with computer vision because only when you know the geometry of the image and geometry of the objects that you want to study, that's when That's where it actually starts. So mathematics is an integral component of computer vision. For that matter, computer science, when we say mathematics is the foundation for everything, right? So then where all does computer vision uh, gets applied? What are the application areas of computer vision? So like as I said, controlling various processes, regulating the tasks, navigation, then detecting events, whether there is any anomaly events that is happening or any hazardous events that you see in the screen that you don't want to visual that you do not want that to happen. So such things, organizing information. So you see some things and you want that to be organized. How do you do that? Modeling objects and environments. So by just visualizing things, probably you go about constructing models and objects for better ordering and assembling. Interaction. So let's say, for example, there are two people interacting. So how do they interact? How do they uh, behave? So just by there may be two people who are engaged in a healthy discussion. They are just friends, happily laughing, interacting with each other. That's absolutely fine. But in public, there is a spat. There is somebody who is having an offensive object, and probably that can be a threat to the entire public over there, right? So how do the interaction happen one on one and in public? Then manufacturing applications. I told you about this case, a banana ripening, right? There are so many cases that is happening and so many automations that is happening which use computer vision. They gauge the quality of the product and they say, okay, this is of the best quality, this is of average quality, this is of least quality, and accordingly the pricing is done. So many aspects are there in manufacturing applications that use computer vision. And another important area where computer vision is predominantly used is optical character recognition. Like one typical example being your number plate recognition, right? Okay, you drive a car fast, but the traffic police is not able to catch you out and fine you when the signal is put, like you've crossed the signal without obeying the rules. So how does he track? And a computer vision based system can probably capture the image of your frontal image of your car. You can use image segmentation technique, get the number plate, and have some optical character recognition mechanism embedded into the computer using computer vision of tools, and extract the characters of the number plate. Thereby you can easily track who was the offender, right? Then this is another thing which I was telling, secure login without a password. So probably your fingerprint earlier was used, right? Also, voice-based password system was tried out. Probably face is another addition that you can have. Probably these two might be misleading sometimes, but I think along with this, if you have a face recognition system, and if the face matches with the pattern, what is present in the database pertaining to your identity, then the system opens as soon as your face is recognized. So this is secure law. It is predominantly used in research centers across the world. So where they don't use biometrics, rather they use your facial recognition and automatically you are permitted to enter the premises, right? Then target recognition, predominantly in defense. So you want to locate a remote target. You analyze the images of that particular place, identify, okay, whether that is a bunker of the enemy or not, or probably where the bunker is, how much distance it is. All these things can be analyzed using computer vision, right? And then satellite image analysis again. So probably you can easily identify where exactly it's used across everywhere, where, let's say, for example, there is a flood across the place and you don't know like where the people are crowded more. Just by analyzing the image, the system, if it tells you at this particular point of time where you have to go about rescuing people. Then traffic monitoring, as I said earlier, monitoring and regulating. So are the vehicles traveling in the right lane? If there is one vehicle which is traveling in the wrong lane, immediate alerting to the concerned traffic police nearby, and thereby ensuring that any mishap is averted. or any unwanted vehicle overspeeding, all those stuff can be easily monitored. Face detection and recognition, as I said, identifying person by the face, that can be done. Then 3D shape reconstruction. You have some images, you build some blocks with that. If you want to have some image reconstruction, that can also be done using computer vision. And in sports, predominantly, if we say uh, people who are interested in sports, you know this, ball tracking, right? So they use computer vision, they use optical flow predominantly to define the direction of trajectory of movement of the ball. So here mathematics, statistics, and at the same time, uh, it also depends on the optical flow of the movement of the ball. So all these things are predominantly some of the application that is used in sports. Then you have another example, typically Google cars, smart vehicles, which they've tried it, but it is not implemented yet. So it's like unmanned car, so driverless cars, right? So which automatically recognize what is happening in the road, and accordingly, the system in the car determines, just looks at the road and understands, okay, there is a traffic here, so I need to slow my car automatically. Okay, I don't have a traffic in my lane, so I can move on at a steady pace in the same lane. Or there is a barricade in between in this lane, I may need to shift to the next lane. All these decisioning made automatic without a driver. So smart vehicles, again, medical image, as I said earlier, healthcare is another big area where computer vision is booming like anything, where medical imaging is used for brain cancer cell analysis, brain analysis, even COVID-19 analysis. There are lots of computer vision based research works that is happening. Then anomaly detection and object tracking. So predominantly, as I said, this is what is optical flow all about. Like you have some object, you move that object, there is various computer vision algorithms that is there, which can track the movement of objects, which direction it moves, and what trajectory of movement, everything can be tracked. Anomaly detection, like any masked or unmasked faces, and some object detections or anomaly threats that can be detected automatically. All these are some of the applications that are predominantly booming, and where computer vision is actually employed to enhance the features of these applications. And when it comes to the challenges in computer vision, so it is not like always computer vision is one-to-one mapping. There is a many-to-many mapping, in the sense like you just cannot visualize and analyze an image with that. You need various interdisciplinaries to go in sync to make the computer to understand what that image is about, get that interpretation part made by the CPU. The decisioning happens only if not just image analytics alone is there. A computer vision requires a fusion of all the various other disciplinaries, whatever I said earlier, like mathematics, especially geometry, image analytics, then machine learning. Then you have something called as this thing. What was it? Robotics and automation, various aspects. Even some cases, data mining has a role to play. So various things. And obviously, computationally intensive, because the algorithms which is there at the back end obviously is going to be computationally intensive. So it cannot be just worked out with a simple at least for simple applications, that is fine. But when it comes to real-time applications, you cannot just use one laptop and get a computer vision-based automated system developed and deployed instantaneously. It is computationally intensive. So the respective demand for hardware and software is the same, but the hardware infrastructure that is needed is quite demanding. Then dynamic behavior according to environment changes. This again important. So let's say, for example, an image when it's captured in the morning will give you one perception. If it is captured in the night, it might pose a different challenge. Or if it is going to be rainy, detecting the same object on a sunny day and a rainy day might be a different proportion challenge in itself. So likewise, it's pretty dynamic. The environment is not a static one, it is changing. So how does the computer tune itself to the changing environment is again going to be a big challenge. And when we talk about object recognition in different challenging scenarios, I would probably give a simple example of an occlusion. There is a camera which is there, and two people are crossing in the opposite direction. At one point of time, when both the people cross each other, right? When the camera is facing from the side, there will be only one person who will be visualized. The other person cannot be seen. That scenario is what is called as occlusion. Hiding another object intentionally or unintentionally is occlusion. A typical example is your masked face, right? You cannot detect a person. It's not like you cannot detect, rather it is a challenge to detect a person whose face is masked, partially masked maybe, right? So these are the different challenges in computer vision. But yeah, this is where the research opportunity lies as well, right? So predominantly, there are various applications working towards anomaly detection, surveillance trackings, then probably image analytics, especially in healthcare, where people use computer vision, like as I said, for disease predictions, various disease predictions based on analysis of the X-ray images or the scan images or whatever it is, right? Then occlusion detection. And so this is what we have seen. So at this point of time, I've just given you a brief introduction to what is computer vision all about, and how computer vision is connected with various disciplines, and how simple computer vision system looks like, and what are the building blocks or the basic diagram of a computer vision vision based system, and what are the popular computer vision tools that we have used, and what are the application areas and some special applications that use computer vision. And finally, I've concluded with the challenges in computer vision. So with that, I'll conclude my presentation. Thank you, all of you, for listening to the presentation. I thank you all once again for this opportunity given to me. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. That was really an interesting presentation. Let me now call upon Shirley to conclude the session.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much, sir, for the useful information, sir. And I'm pretty sure the precious knowledge you gave us will help us in future studies, sir. And I would like to thank the management principal on behalf of Panimal Engineering College Institute Innovation Council for organizing this session for us. Sir, I'm very thankful to you for the session, sir. And guys, a small request: I have posted a feedback form. Kindly do check it and fill it out.
Thank you all. Thank you, Satish sir.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you for giving us a wonderful presentation, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you,
Bye.
sir. Thank you, everyone.